The sky above Earth is not blue. It is a bruised, toxic purple, swollen with clouds that do not carry rain, but poison. The sun is a pale, angry eye staring down through a haze of volcanic ash, bleaching the color out of the world. This is not the planet you know. This is Pangaea, a supercontinent locked in a fever dream, shivering under a heat so intense it distorts the horizon like a funhouse mirror. The air here does not just touch you, it weighs you down. It tastes of sulfur and rotten eggs. Every breath is a labor, a heavy intake of carbon dioxide and dust. That coats the lungs in a fine layer of silt. The silence is absolute. There are no birds to sing, no insects to buzz. The only sound is the wind, hissing across the cracked earth like steam escaping a pressure valve. Moving through this wasteland is a convoy of biological tanks. The Lystrosaurus. They are not beautiful creatures. They are squat, barrel-chested, and built low to the ground, looking like a genetic mistake. A cross between a pig and a lizard, stripped of all grace. But beauty is a luxury this world can no longer afford. Nature has stopped designing for elegance and started designing for endurance. These creatures are living fortresses. Their skin is thick, leathery, and caked in mud, a desperate shield against the solar radiation. That is currently cooking the surface of the planet. They move in a trudging rhythm, a slow, synchronized march of survival. Their heads hang low, shoveling through the dry dirt with two distinct, downward-pointing tusks. These tusks are not weapons of war. They are tools of desperation. They use them to dig to root for the last shreds of moisture hidden deep within the dying ferns. Watch the leader of the herd. He is an old male, his flank scarred by years of near misses. He stops. He lifts his head, tasting the air. His nostrils flare, filtering the ash. He is not looking for a mate. He is not looking for territory. He is looking for the only thing that matters in the Permian endgame shade. But there is no shade. The forests that once covered this valley are gone, reduced to skeletal gray stumps that crumble at a touch. The temperature is climbing. It is 45 degrees Celsius in the shade and 50 out here in the open. The internal engines of the Lystrosaurus are overheating. You can see it in the way they pant, their sides heaving like bellows in a forge, trying to dump excess heat before their organs begin to boil in their own fluids. They are the survivors. They are the weeds of the animal kingdom, tough, stubborn, and refusing to die. But even a weed needs water, and the riverbed ahead is dust. From the shimmering heat haze, a shadow detaches itself from the rocks. It is massive, a silhouette of jagged edges and raw power. This is the nightmare of the Permian. This is Inostrancevia. He is a gorgonopsid, the first true Saber-Tooth to walk the earth millions of years before the famous tigers. He is a masterpiece of lethal engineering. His skull is a heavy box of bone, housing jaws powered by muscles so dense they could crush a car chassis. Protruding from his upper jaw are two 12-inch daggers of serrated enamel, designed to slice through the thick hide of slow-moving prey like a hot knife through butter. But look closer. The king is broken. His ribs are showing through his patchy fur. His movements are jerky, and uncoordinated. The great biological machine is running on empty fumes. The ecosystem that supported his size has collapsed, leaving him stranded in a world too small to feed him. He is not hunting with strategy. He is moving with the blind delirium of starvation. The Lystrosaurus herd senses the vibration in the ground before they see him. The reaction is instant. They do not scatter. Running burns energy they cannot spare. Instead, they form a phalanx. The adults shove the smaller juveniles into the center of the circle, turning their armored backs outward to face the threat. They transform from a herd into a wall of meat and muscle. The Inostrancevia charges. In his prime, this charge would have been a thunderclap of violence, a swift execution. Today, it is a clumsy stumble. He crashes into the wall of Lystrosaurus, his massive paws scrambling for traction on the loose scree. He roars a sound that should freeze the blood, but it comes out as a dry, wheezing cough. He swings his head, trying to bring those terrible sabers to bear. The tip of a tooth catches the shoulder of the lead Lystrosaurus, tearing a shallow gash. The smell of blood hits the hot air, metallic and sharp. But the prey does not flee. The lead Lystrosaurus slams his shoulder into the predator's chest, a blunt force counterattack. Then another joins him. Then another. They are mobbing the giant. They are using their weight, their low center of gravity, shoving the predator back. It is a humiliation. The apex predator, the ruler of this era, is being bullied by his lunch. The Inostrancevia snaps his jaws one last time, but the energy is gone. The heat stroke hits him like a physical blow. His legs buckle. The great beast collapses his chin, hitting the dirt with a heavy thud. Dust puffs up around his face. The herd waits. They watch with beady, indifferent eyes. They do not finish him off. They do not trample him. They simply turn away. He is no longer a threat. He is just another obstacle, another piece of debris in the wasteland. The king lies panting in the dirt, his vision blurring. The flies are already gathering, sensing the end. Above him, the purple sky swirls indifferent to his fall. The age of the monsters is ending. Not with a bang, but with a gasp. While the surface world convulses in its death throes, a different story is being written 3 feet underground. Here the air does not burn. It is cool, damp, and smells of wet clay and safety. This is the domain of the Dictodon. If you saw one, you might mistake it for a badger, or perhaps a heavy-set dachshund with a beak. They are small, unassuming creatures covered in short, coarse fur. They do not have the armor of the Lystrosaurus or the sabers of the Inostrancevia. They have something far more dangerous: ingenuity. They are the architects of the apocalypse. Watch this pair, a male and a female. They are working in tandem, a synchronized construction crew. The male uses his powerful forelegs to loosen the soil, his claws acting like pickaxes. He doesn't just dig a hole, he is engineering a fortress. The tunnel does not go straight down, it twists. It spirals like a corkscrew staircase. This is a stroke of evolutionary genius. The spiral shape regulates the airflow, keeping the temperature stable, and creates a gravity trap for any flash floods that might scour the surface. They reach the nesting chamber, a widened bulb at the bottom of the spiral. It is dark here, lit only by the faint bioluminescence of fungi growing on the roots of dying trees. The female is waiting. She nudges the male with her beak, a soft chirping sound escaping her throat. It is a moment of startling intimacy, in a world defined by violence. She is grooming him. She scrapes the dried mud from his ears, cleaning his fur. He closes his eyes, letting out a low trill of contentment. In the middle of the greatest extinction event in history, there is tenderness. They share a meal, a withered, fibrous tuber they found while expanding the tunnel. It is dry and bitter, but they eat it with the desperation of the condemned. They are the original preppers. While the giants above rely on strength, these two rely on obscurity. They have built a bunker against the end of the world. But even down here in the cool dark, they can feel the vibrations. The thud of falling bodies. The tremor of the earth as the volcanoes half a world away continue their assault. The male stops chewing. He looks up at the roof of the burrow. Dust sprinkles down onto his nose. He senses the change. The silence above is no longer peaceful. It is heavy. The endgame begins in the ocean. Thousands of miles away, on the floor of the Panthalassic Ocean, the water temperature crosses a critical threshold. Deep in the sediment, vast reserves of frozen methane, hydrate ice that burns begin to destabilize. They sublime instantly, turning from solid to gas in a violent explosive chain reaction. The ocean burps. A bubble of methane gas the size of a mountain range rises to the surface and bursts. The shockwave hits the atmosphere like a physical hammer. Methane is a greenhouse gas 25 times more potent than carbon dioxide. The global thermostat snaps. In a matter of hours, the temperature on the continent of Pangaea spikes. It rockets from an already unbearable 45 degrees to a lethal 60 degrees Celsius. This is the thermal hammer. On the surface, the Lystrosaurus herd walks into a wall of heat. It is not just hot. The air is physically scalding. It burns the mucous membranes of their noses. Their eyes dry out instantly. The moisture in their breath evaporates before it leaves their mouths. The biological limits of life are breached. Proteins begin to denature. The blood begins to thicken. Panic sets in. The herd stops marching. There is nowhere to go. The shade of the dead trees offers no relief. The ground itself is baking them from below. One by one they drop. It is a slow, agonizing domino effect. A juvenile falls first, legs twitching. The mother tries to nudge him up, but the effort spikes her own body temperature. She collapses on top of him. They pile up. Instinct drives them to seek shelter. And in a tragic twist, the only shelter left is the shadow of their own dead. They form a mound of bodies, a pyramid of flesh, baking in the sun. The silence returns, but now it is the silence of the graveyard. Underground, the heat is an intruder. It seeps through the soil inch by inch, turning the cool sanctuary of the Diectodon into an oven. The air in the spiral tunnel grows heavy and stale. The male and female retreat to the deepest part of the burrow. They are trapped. If they go up, they cook. If they stay here, they might suffocate. They initiate their final defense mechanism. They do not panic. They curl into tight balls' tails wrapped over their noses to preserve moisture. Their breathing slows. Their heart rates drop thump, 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 until there is almost nothing. They are entering estivation, a deep, comatose sleep, suspended between life and death. They are shutting down the engines. They are betting everything on the hope that when they wake up, the world will still be there. The heat does not just kill, it dries the world into tinder. The massive forests of giant ferns and towering club mosses, which have stood for millions of years, are now brittle skeletons. They are waiting for a spark. And in a world of erupting volcanoes, a spark is inevitable. It begins as a whisper of smoke on the horizon, then a roar. A firestorm sweeps across the continent. This is not a forest fire, it is a global cremation. The flames move faster than any animal can run, fed by the high oxygen levels of the dying atmosphere. They consume everything. The piles of dead Lystrosaurus are swallowed by the orange wall. The corpse of the Inostrancevia is stripped of its flesh, leaving only the white cage of its bones to blacken in the soot. The sky turns from purple to absolute black, choked by a blanket of smoke that wraps the entire planet in a funeral shroud. The sun is blotted out. Day becomes night. Ash begins to fall. It falls like black snow, relentless and heavy. It buries the valleys. It fills the dry riverbeds. It covers the entrance of the Diectodon burrow, sealing them inside their earthen tomb. On the surface, nothing moves. The wind howls through a graveyard that spans from pole to pole. The silence is terrifying. There are no insects, no birds, no rustle of leaves. It is the sound of a planet that has been sterilized. The oceans are stagnant pools of purple slime. The land is gray dust. The dominance of the synapsids, the great mammal-like reptiles, has been erased in the blink of a geological eye. But deep underground in the cool dark, a heart still beats. The Dictodon pair sleeps on. They are suspended in time, oblivious to the firestorm raging above their heads. They are the seeds of life buried in the soil, waiting for the winter to pass. They do not know it, but they are drifting through the bottleneck of history. Time passes. It might be a year, it might be 10,000. The concept of time loses meaning when there is no one left to count it. Then a sound breaks the silence. Drip, then another. Drip. Rain. It falls from the gray sky, hissing as it hits the hot stones. It is sour, acidic rain that stings the skin, but it is liquid water. It washes the ash from the air. It carves channels through the gray dunes pooling in the lowlands. The temperature begins to drop. The fever of the earth breaks. The seal of the burrow softens. Mud clumps fall away. A nose pokes out. The male Diectodon emerges. He is thin, his fur matted, trembling with weakness. He blinks against the gray light, sniffing the air. It smells of wet charcoal. He crawls out, followed by the female. They are the astronauts, stepping onto an alien planet. They are alone, but they are alive. Across the valley, a mound of ash shifts. A Lystrosaurus, one of the few who found a deep ravine, a lucky survivor, shakes the dust from its back. It bellows a lonely, mournful sound that echoes off the bare rocks. The survivors find each other. They drink from the acidic puddles. Life begins to reboot. But the world they have inherited is not the one they lost. The camera drifts to the edge of a newly formed murky swamp. The water is still choked with debris, but something is moving beneath the surface. It is not a fish. A snout breaks the water. It is long, narrow, and lined with needle-like teeth. Two cold, unblinking eyes rise above the waterline. This is Proterosuchus. While the Lystrosaurus and Dictodon were hiding, suffering, and barely holding on, this creature was waiting. It is a reptile. It is cold-blooded efficient and requires a fraction of the food the mammals need. It is perfectly adapted to this broken, empty world. The Proterosuchus watches the Lystrosaurus drinking at the water's edge. It does not attack. It freezes, looking like a floating log. It has time. The Great Dying killed the old kings, but it cleared the throne for a new dynasty. The Diectodon scampers back into its hole. The Lystrosaurus trudges through the mud. They survived, yes. They will repopulate the earth. But their time is over. The eyes in the water stare with a terrifying patience. The age of mammals is paused. The age of the dinosaur has just begun.